Rizz. Some of us have it, and some of us don't. That's just reality. I'd say I don't really have that much Rizz. Like, I can talk to girls no problem, as in just having regular conversations, but I cannot flirt with girls or anything. It's scientifically impossible for me. But today's story time might involve the actual worst Rizz I've ever heard of. And no, it's not about me. This is going to be a bit of a shorter story. I gotta work with what I get sent in. But regardless, without further ado, let's begin the story time. Okay, so as I said, this was sent in by a subscriber who I actually won't give a name for this video because the story is about the subscriber's dad, not him. The subscriber's dad, we're gonna name him Ronald for the story. So this takes place before the subscriber was born, when Ronald had just turned 21. Now, 21's that certain age in the US where you can first have. Okay, I'm actually going to borrow some terms from the dude who inspired this channel, my idol Scrubby, and I'm going to use the terms party water and hydrated. All copyright of these terms goes to Scrubby. I am giving him full credit. I just got to keep it YouTube friendly on here, and I can't really think of any other words that would be better to use. Anyways, so in the US, 21 is that certain age where you can first have party water for the first time. I think it's different here in Canada, like 19 or something. But in the US, you can have party water at 21. Now, one day, when Ronald had just turned 21, he and a few of his friends went to a steakhouse to, have some dinner, just have a fun night out with the boys. But in addition to having the steak, Ronald and his friends also had some party water, and they got decently hydrated, if you get what I'm trying to say. One of Ronald's friends, who I'll call Chris for the story, was a bit more hydrated than the others. He certainly had a bit more party water than everybody else. Now, since they were at a restaurant, there were obviously waiters and waitresses, and the waitress who happens to be serving them, Chris thought she was really cute. Now, we all got crushes. I've had a crush before. You probably have had a crush too. Like, having a crush or thinking somebody is attractive is just something we all experience at some points. Now, Chris seemed to have a little bit of a crush on the waitress, which I don't want to just call her the waitress for the rest of the video. I don't really want to do that, so I'm going to call the waitress Tara for the rest of the video. Anyway, so Chris seemed to like Tara, and he told the other guys that he thought Tara was really cute. Now, if you ever tell your friends that you like somebody, and she's right there, chances are they're gonna do the, bro, ask her out, get her number, rizz her up, that. And no surprise, really, that's exactly what Ronald and everybody else start doing to Chris. They're hyping him up like, dude, go ask for her number, go do it, man, you got this. Just hyping him up like any group of friends would. They're telling Chris to go get Tara's number, and Chris, seeing all his friends hype him up, telling him that he can do it, he can get her number, Chris agrees to go ask for this girl's number. Now, personally, I know what it's like to ask out girls. I've actually done it twice, and I got rejected both times, but it's not the end of the world. I'm still friends with them, and I really recommend that if you like somebody, just go ask her out. The worst she can say is no. Even if you get rejected, you at least have the confidence to try, and the fear of making a move goes away in the future. That being said, considering how hydrated Chris was, I don't exactly think that this was the smartest move on his part. But whatever, after his friends hype him up, he gets up from where him and his friends were sitting, and he goes to talk to this Tara girl. Chris goes up to Tara and says hi, introduces himself, getting ready to ask for her number. Now, since Chris was hydrated, I don't exactly think he was in the right mindset to really be doing this. It's hilarious, don't get me wrong, that's probably why his friends pushed him to do it, but it probably wasn't exactly the best decision on his behalf. And to prove my point, after he says hi to Tara and introduces himself, Chris proceeds to take a piece of half-eaten steak out of his pocket, which I don't even know why it was there in the first place. Like, why would you put a half-eaten steak in your pocket? Like, that's just gross, man. I don't recommend it. But Chris didn't stop there, because he also takes a bite out of the half-eaten steak while he's standing up and while he's talking to Tara, the girl he's trying to impress. This dude actually decided to put a half-eaten steak in his pocket and take a bite out of it while he's talking to the girl he likes. That's actually crazy. Bro, I'm sorry, you're not getting her number now. You probably weren't even gonna get it to begin with, but now your chances went from like 2% to 0.1%. Okay, like it's not gonna happen. To make things even worse, after Chris already took the steak out of his pocket and took a bite in front of Tara, he decided it'd be a pretty good idea to put the steak back in his pocket. Like, come on, dude, that's just absolutely disgusting. It's just gross. In any situation, I would find that weird and disgusting. But this dude was trying to rizz up a girl and get her number. That is so embarrassing. Like, I get he was hydrated or whatever, but that's still super embarrassing. His friends probably clowned him for this for so long. My friends already clown me sometimes, it's just what friends do. But if they ever did something this stupid while talking to a girl, I might as well just join the circus, bro. There's no recovering from that. Anyways, so Chris took the half-eaten steak out of his pocket, took a bite out of it, and put it back in his pocket while talking to this girl he thought was cute. Now, no surprise here, he didn't get her number. Bro got rejected, which I mean, like, hey, I know what it's like on two separate occasions, but I don't think I fumbled this bad. Because at least the two times I got rejected, the girls just didn't feel the same way about me, which is perfectly fine. But at least I didn't go up to them, grab a piece of half-eaten food out of my pocket, and take a bite in front of her, you know? I probably would have gotten an ew instead of a no as an answer, so obviously, Chris didn't get the number, and he went to go back to his friends. They were all pretty much done eating, they had enough food, so they decided to pay for their food. Now, even though he got rejected, Chris wasn't giving up just yet. Somehow, in his mind, he thought that he still had a shot to get Tara's number, which I mean, like, bro, it's over. She rejected you, it's done. Get over it. She already didn't give you her number after you ate the steak from your pocket in front of her. What's making you think it's gonna be any different this time around? So, what he does this time is that while Ronald and everybody else were paying for the meal and giving the money to Tara, Chris thought that his last attempt at getting this girl's number would be to take the same piece of half-eaten steak out of his pocket and try to pay with it. Yeah, that's when you know this dude is definitely extremely hydrated. Like, he ain't all there if you get what I mean. But I mean, this dude actually tried to pay for the meal with a half-eaten steak. That's actually crazy. He really thought that he was gonna rizz this girl up. He really thought he was gonna get her number. The disappointment going through his head right now must be immeasurable. I feel a little bit bad, but at the same time, it's 100% his own fault, so maybe not too bad. Regardless, Ronald, Chris, and everybody else leave the restaurant after that, and Chris did not get Tara's number. He fumbled the bag. He probably wouldn't have gotten it anyways, but he really did fumble that bad. Anyways, thank you so much to the subscriber for sending this in. I really do appreciate it. If you want to listen to another story of mine, on screen right now is the story of the greatest battle of all time, the boys versus girls playground war.